This is the Consumer Survey and Panel Research Study. This study is very useful, very important. I highly recommend that you always purchase this one. This one tells you a number of things. It tells you brand awareness, it tells you purchase intentions, it tells you market share, it also tells you the shopping habits of each of the segments. So let's go through each of these separately. So the first one is brand awareness. So in order for products to be purchased, people have to know about them. Okay, so the more people know about your products, the greater the potential sales levels will be. Okay, so typically what you'll do is you'll look here for your brand and see the brand awareness in each of the segments. You'll find the segments that you're targeting and take a look. Okay, so typically the general rule of thumb is you want your brand awareness levels to be roughly 70%. Anything below that, you're not really getting good enough coverage. But once you get to 70, spending money to try to get awareness levels up to 75%, 80%, you're probably not going to see returns on that. So you're going to have, in other words, diminishing returns. Okay, so get the numbers in your target segments to somewhere around 70%. And the way you influence brand awareness is through advertising media. So you can you throw more money at advertising media for the brand, and it should increase brand awarenesses. Okay. All right. Now, brand awareness is just the beginning of the battle here. There are lots of brands that you and I know about. We know a lot about, but we just don't like them for whatever reason. Something we won't ever use, or we're just into the competitor's brand, or whatever it might be. So we need a second report to kind of continue us down this path towards ideally selling products. And so this is called the purchase intention. So basically, you ask a bunch of consumers, the next time you're in the market for a Sonite, which brand would you consider buying? And these are the answers that you get. Okay, so explorers, for example, the vast majority of them are going to buy tops. Nothing else even comes close. Shoppers, it's going to be Move or Solo, based on these data here. Okay, so it gives you good information to let you know how well is your product liked, how serious are consumers about buying your particular product. Okay, so it is influenced by brand awareness. The more consumers know about your brands, ideally, by a kind of law of large numbers, you're going to have more people interested in those brands. Okay, but that's not the end result either. That's kind of an intermediate step. What's really most important here is market share. So basically, market share is the percentage of the marketplace that has bought each brand. Okay, and so typically you'll read this from vertically from top to bottom. So explorers, out of all the explorers who purchase a Sonite, you'll see that 63.4% purchase tops, and then it drops off considerably. 7.3% bought rock, and so on and so on. And so you're wanting to maximize this number, obviously. Okay, so both purchase intentions and market share, there is no rule of thumb. The higher the number, the better, no matter what that number is. There is no kind of maximum that you need to get to. 100% obviously would be the ultimate goal, though virtually impossible to do. Okay, so the difference between purchase intentions and market share depends on a number of things. Okay, you can have consumers that are absolutely, positively, 100% interested in buying your brand, but for whatever reason you don't. So what are those reasons? First one is the price may be incongruent with their ideal values. That's one. Secondly, if you don't have enough commercial team, then they just can't find the product, and that's obviously an issue as well. Okay, and then there's also awareness is an issue. Shopping habits. If you're not, you may have a lot of salespeople, but if you're not selling products in the channels where your target segment shops, then that could cause there to be a big gap between purchase intentions and market share. Okay, so that's that's a major problem. Okay. Also, something else to mention here is that sometimes you will see market share numbers being higher than purchase intentions, which sounds like, well, it doesn't really make sense. The market share should never be higher than purchase intentions. But actually it can happen. What happens is if the brand that the consumer really wants to buy is not available, they can't find it, they've sold out or whatever, they then go with a competitor's product. And so therefore they're kind of making a decision to go with their second best option, I guess you could say. And that will result in an increase in market share above and beyond purchase intentions. It doesn't happen often in the simulation, but sometimes it does. Okay, so you'll want to make sure that you never run out of product, because it kind of gives you a double whammy that A, someone who wanted to buy your product couldn't, and B, they bought it from someone else. So you're giving up your market share to your competitor. Okay, that's a big problem. All right, and then I left the shopping habits for last, but so I wanted to go back to it. So this horizontal bar chart with the purples and the pinks basically kind of tells you where consumers in each of the segments shop. Okay, this will help you allocate your commercial team across the 3 channels. So if you are targeting explorers, you know that about 6 out of 10 shop at specialty stores, and about 2 out of 10 each shop at mass merchandisers and online stores. Okay. However, if you're targeting savers, you will see that it's a lot different. You've got 64% shop in mass merchandisers, with the rest shopping online stores. And let me back up: 64% shop at mass merchandisers, 14% and 22% respectively shop at specialty stores and online stores. Okay, so you'll want to allocate your sales team, your commercial team, whatever you want to call them, accordingly based on where your target segment shops. Okay, so if purchase intentions are good, prices is acceptable, your commercial team allocation is good, your awareness levels are good, it should result in good market share. Okay.